hear that? Y'all hear that new Nas album yet?
No, but
I keep hearing about it.
Wait,
Man, what are y'all doing in life, man? What is wrong with y'all? Y'all New York. Hold up, man. Y'all think y'all New York, man? Y'all gotta stop.
Listen, bro. Listen, I want to be honest with you, man. Like my boy, a couple of my boys hit me today. Was like, yo, we should start a podcast on hip hop and politics. I was like, why don't we call it politics and urban culture? Because I was like, honestly, I can't tell you 5 new artists right now. And he was like, I was like, yeah. I was like, just call it urban culture. I was like, because it's the same shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like to the point where like somebody told me about the Nas album and they was like that Hit Boy did all the records.
Hit Boy did all the beats. Yeah, Hit Boy did all the production on it, man.
So I didn't know Hit Boy did anything outside of trap. Like personally,
a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't behind this project. And it didn't surprise me because I know he been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I know he can get into different pockets, but he matched really well with Nas. Like this is some of the best Nas I've heard in a long time. It's way better than that Kanye shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
You want to know something crazy? I always wish Nas would have did an album with I always wish he would have did an album with one producer. And the producer I always wish he would have did one was Primo. Because Primo always, because like in the first two albums, remember that Primo did New York State of Mind, and then he did New York State of Mind Part 2.
The best joints, yeah,
the classics.
Joints is crazy. Either Primo, either do that, or he need to round up all the producers that he got for Illmatic, and do another album.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was just thinking something similar, and I was also thinking like just other producers that come to mind too, be like an Alchemist.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? Sitting back with Alchemist, doing a whole joint with Alchemist, or doing a whole joint with who else was I just thinking? Havoc from Mobb Deep.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get that real New York sound.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of that marriage that I could see play. But Hit Boy did his thing. The fact is, I heard Hit Boy talk on an interview earlier this week about it, and he said. He was like, yo, how did this even come together? And he was like, yo, Nas came through and, we just sat and we became friends before, you know what I'm saying? We really got in the studio and we really got to working with each other. And so basically every beat that he put together for Nas, he sat back and actually made it for Nas. For Nas, For Nas. And when you guys get a chance to listen to it, when you guys get a chance to listen to it, man, check that out. He got some joints on there. I'm going to listen to that today. I'm definitely going to check that out today.
Yeah, me too. I love Nas. I've always been a Nas fan, so I just haven't had the time, but I'm going to make the time today.
He got a joint on there with the Firm. He brought the Firm back from one joint. Yeah.
Foxy's on there?
I was just going to say that.
Foxy too? Yeah, she on there.
How's she sounding?
Stop. I'm done.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying how she sound because, like, come on. Last time we heard Foxy, it's no disrespect to her, nothing like that.
Yeah,
but, like,
I feel you.
It's like, to me, it's like if I'm about to take people all the way back. Like back in the days when you blew out your knee, right? Your basketball career was over, right? Bernard King,
ACL something, whatever. Yeah.
Bernard King blew out his knee, tore his ACL, I think, or whatever, and he worked his ass off to get back. You know what I mean? And Bernard King before that injury and after that injury was two different plays, but still both plays was fairly effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before the injury, Bernard King was a beast.
Yeah, that happened to a lot of players like Greg Oden.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Fox, like her hearing and her voice. That's an ACL in rap. You know what I mean? Like,
wait till you hear it though. Just give it a listen, man. Just give it a listen.
All right. So if you say that means that we in today, because like today, you tell your ACL, you can come back from that. All right, cool. So I was that was specific. Like I wasn't even trying to be like funny. I want to know how she sounded.
No, it's the truth though. It is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know the last Foxy I heard wasn't Foxy. I love Foxy, and it wasn't. You could tell.
It's like if Beans jump on the song right now. When you hear Beanie sing on the song right now,
that
like
breath control, all of that.
And his voice.
It ain't the same. He got hit up all in the lungs and shit. It ain't
check it out too. Wait till you hear Cormaker.
Man,
everybody on this album is in shape. I'll just put it that way. They in shape. And I was thoroughly surprised. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay.
Before you get on this album, you need to go run 2 laps outside And if you can do it, you can make it. If you can't do it, you gotta train to get on this motherfucker.
That's actually some of the stuff that I would do sometimes too,
I was
depending
just
on what
gonna
type
say,
of double or triple time flow that I'm doing. I would actually, go on a jog. I would go jogging, and once I get my lyrics wrote down or got them all memorized or what I'm going to record, I'll work out and recite my lyrics as I'm working out.
And let me tell you something.
Or as I'm jogging or as I'm running.
Let me tell you something about Cypha. This was, what we talking, 15, 16 years ago, bro? Maybe longer. I don't even think I had a third child. That's the motherfucker right there that taught me breath control and used to have me on a regimen. Oh, bitch, we're going to do this album. We're going to do this collab album. I'm going to need you on that treadmill. I'm going to need you to do... And Cyph really used to have me doing that. And it helped.
But the crazy shit is, like, even as a producer, I feel like you should be able to do that, too. Because, like, if I'm recording an album with you, right? And you doing a part and you going in like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I should be at least able... if I can't say the words, I should be at least able to hit you back with the rhythms.
Yeah. With the
like,
cadence,
you know what I'm saying?
With the cadences.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, so I'm not saying, yo, you get to that part, you start going fast. Nah, I don't want to say that. I'm like, yo, you get to that part, like right after the third part, you like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I like, at that part right here, I need you to stop. And then I want you, and you should maybe let it breathe for a second. You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to like to demonstrate to you exactly what I'm hearing. Because I can't expect you to you know what I mean, just automatically know it. You know what I mean? Like
I think that's something.
Especially when you're working on. Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
Nah, go ahead.
I was going to say, especially while you're working on an album or working on a track. You know, I mean, a lot of cats fall into the. I've seen this a lot throughout the years in the studio, and I've been guilty of this too. Like, there's nothing wrong with the punch in, especially when you're doing your album. With your album, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with the punch in.
Yeah,
and sometimes some people, because I've seen a lot of people throughout the years in the studio and working in the studio and stuff like that, where cats will just, they think they got to just one take it. Like, you can one take it.
That sounds like ass.
Yeah, you can one take it, but when you working on an album, like really take your time. It's no different than when you structuring your beats as a producer.
I'm not playing like 80 bars of motherfucking bass. I'm playing 4 bars of bass and repeating that motherfucker sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly. It's the same thing with vocals. A lot of people don't talk about vocals as much, when it comes to production too, because you got to sit there. And especially if you're putting your own vocals into it, you got to splice it. You got to make sure the transitions come in right. And sometimes I know it's hard to punch. I know it's hard to punch in, especially if you're trying to keep the same energy or whatever cadence that you're going with on a track. But trust me on this, fellow rappers and spitters out there, or singers and songwriters, like, think about where you're going to even punch in when you're structuring your verse sometimes too, when you're recording a track, because that'll save you a lot of time and frustration.
But if you
punch in on an ad-lib spot,
or when you do your stacks, you can go back in and fill those spots. You know what I'm saying?
And if your engineer is not having you punch like at least like a bar before where the actual punch happens, it's going to sound like shit. You know what I mean? And you can always mimic the cadence. And the reason why I know you can mimic the cadence is because all of us grew up imitating our favorite rapper, our favorite singer, and we could make it sound exactly like the way it sounded on the album every single time. I mean, it might sound like that in our head, but we remembered, like for example, when Biggie go, "Who the fuck is this?" None of us go, "Who the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? We know exactly where the accents go, where he do like the little deep shit with his voice, we do the high shit with his voice, and we just automatically follow it. So if you can follow Biggie's rhyme, whatever. Exactly. If you can follow Biggie's rhyme or whomever you might listen to, you should damn sure be able to follow your own. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. Because that's an important point that you brought up too. Because you want to start at least 1 or 2 bars before your next punch in to match your energy, to get your tone back right, and then boom, it's a seamless transition, man. It makes it sound a lot better.
It's like what's that? What's the race where they pass the baton? You know what I mean? Like they don't just pass you the baton and you start running. You start running first, and then you get the baton. So you got to get that running start.
Go.
Because if they pass you the baton and you just start running, like you gotta speed up and everything like that. You're gonna pull something,
Yeah.
So,
and I'm a big stickler too, man. When I sit back and listen to certain tracks, when I hear punch ins on some people's work, I'm just like, it kind of make you want to kind of scratch your ear a little bit. Come on now.
I don't put all that responsibility on the artist though, because
That's
like
the engineer too sometimes.
Because let me tell you, I've recorded many a motherfuckers. You know what I mean? There's this one dude who I used to record. Dude would not write his rhyme till we got to the studio, right? But like, he would never wrote it down. What he would do is he would like, yo, play the beat. And I'd be sitting there like, all right, well, I guess this is what we doing. So he'd be like, all right, I'm ready. So I'm never seen him write nothing down. He do it one bar at a time. Like literally record his whole verse one bar at a time. You know what I mean? And be writing it like why?
That's a long ass studio session.
Oh yeah, it is. But let me tell you, I kid you not. He would do this, so it'd be like 16. It'd be like you'd be like, so I'd have 2 tracks. I'd have the one track for the even bars, one track for the odd bars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they would overlay right over each other. But then afterwards, after he did it, he listened to it a few times and then go back and spit the whole thing straight.
The whole verse.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you might keep the original 2 that he started with and use those as like a double or something like that.
And just stack them. Yeah, use them as an ad lib or a stack. Yeah.
But I mean,
there's
but my
different
thing
ways
is this.
you could do it. Yeah.
But afterwards, you wouldn't know that he recorded it one bar at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it ain't sound right, like as the person recording it, you got to say no. That second bar, your voice sound different than you sound in the first bar, and so they clash. You know what I mean? But see, the thing is too, like people would like get you in the studio and they want to get you in, get you out, and then other people.
Care.
Yeah, that, and then other people want to get in and get out the studio, not realizing like, yo, you might want to book 4 hours as opposed to like, because like I done had people tell me, I'm gonna record one song, so I could book a half an hour. Like, who books a half an hour, bro? Like, no, you like just because it's a 3, and people getting it there and they think like, yo, it's a 3-minute song, so it should take me 3 minutes to record. Like, nah, it's gonna take you. It's gonna take you a lot of more time. Like you're gonna mess up.
Yeah, especially too if you want to leave the studio with at least a pre-mixed version of it before it's finished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
you go sit there for some of that pre-mix. Just sit there. You know what I mean? And if you invested into your craft anyway, you're gonna want to sit there through the process anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're gonna
otherwise it's a hobby that you're paying for.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And booking that studio time, which is, not so many people do that anymore because of technology and what we have now. But anytime you collaborate with somebody and stuff, you got to take that type of stuff into consideration. And already have that mindset of like, yo, I'm in here to put this work in. Like I'm gonna sit here through the process. Whatever needs to be done, like really take the time, put the time in, and put the effort in, and make the investment, man. Because this is other people's time that you spend. You got to compensate people for their time. You know what I mean? And one thing that I've always taken seriously, anytime I'm in the studio or anytime I'm getting on a joint, like I'm not there to fuck around. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there just to hang. I'm not there just kicking. Like, no, I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna get this shit popping, and we gonna get this shit cracked. But
you also paying for your studio time, right?
Yeah, and have your rhyme. Yeah, so you should already want to come prepared. Like you should already have your rhymes ready, or you should already have them memorized. Unless you have that relationship with that person, because there's other sessions too where like I jump on a collab and I come through on the studio session and I could put a verse down in 5-10 minutes and then boom, get in there and knock it out. But you just want to come to the studio prepared because this is people's time that you know what I'm saying. This is their time, their energy.
Come and they want to write,
and they not prepared. They're not prepared. Especially if you coming with your own joint, your own beat, and you having that producer or that engineer or the studio, upload that beat, and you don't even have your own rhymes ready for it yet. Like, fam, what have you been doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should already have your first verse, you said, or however way you want to structure your song. Go into that studio being, ready to go, man. Don't mess around, especially when you spending your own bread too. You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of people just mess around in the studio, and then you holding up other people that also book some time. You know what I mean? It just looks crazy. And then it gives you a reputation of people not wanting to fuck with you.
Yeah, I think
because this motherfucker never comes prepared. He's always this and that. He gotta go smoke an L first, and then he gotta go get a bottle real quick. It's like, nah, man.
They do all that before you get here.
Anytime I record, every time I've ever recorded, I'm stone cold sober every fucking time. Afterwards, we can kick it. afterwards we could kick it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Be prepared before that, man. Get in there and take care of that shit. And we gonna show y'all what we talking about in later news down the road. We ain't gonna reveal any details right now, but
and the crazy thing is like if you're the type of person like yo, I gotta get in the zone to get into rap or something like that, like that's fine. Get in your zone before you get here. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
You know what I mean? But like, but at the same time too, like, I like if your zone involve you like, and this is just my thing. Like, if your zone involves you like popping pills, like, take your zone somewhere else because like I don't
build
like
a home studio at that point.
Yeah, that's because like I can't because like. It's just like that particular like wave, you know what I mean? Is it just take people to a different place, you know what I mean?
It's dangerous. It's just a dangerous wave to be
you know what I mean?
And going to just to piggyback off you real quick, man. You know, I'm not saying that you know you can't get in your zone while you're at the studio. If that's what they allow you to do at the studio, you book the time. You could waste all the time you want to do whatever you need to do to get you know to get to where you need to be. Because you know on the flip side, while I'm a lot of times when I'm writing or I'm writing verses or I'm writing songs, I'm not sober then. You know what I mean? I'm just in a different, you know, I'm getting in a relaxed zone or whatever state I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And I start getting busy. You know, but anytime that's just me. This is just me personally. Anytime I'm in the studio, though, you know, I come in there just there to work. Boom. Yeah. Afterwards, you know, we can sit around, shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? Pop a bottle. We can sit back, you know, work on the track and go from there with it. You know, but I understand everybody has their own muse. You know, everybody, especially as creators like us, we all have our own muses that. You know, takes to a certain place, but with the pill culture and the lean culture, man, be careful.
I was gonna say that ain't our generation either. We look at that shit funny. Where we come from, you know, that shit ain't. I don't even want to record with you. If you like a dope head, I'm gonna keep it real. If your energy is like a dope head, and a lot of them pills and lean, that's what it does. It gives you that dope head kind of energy.
Like all that shit is cousins of heroin. Like like they all I always forget exactly what the word is, but they all in that same category. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Those like, downers,
I forget, like they're like.
And I ain't shitting on nobody. I don't want to hear nothing. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't.
Yeah, that's your thing. Yeah, real talk.
No judgment. We just don't fuck with it.
Right. we just talking about when it comes to you know going to work, man. That's all I'm talking about. Just when it's going to work. Like you ain't gonna go to your 9 to 5 all fucked up like that.
Yeah,
so why,
and that
right. You gotta treat it like it's important.
And that was one thing I wanted to say too. Is like you had touched on. You was like, there's a time when I'm creating and there's a time when I'm working. And like recording a song is actual work. When you creating it, you can create in like that's when you really have your freedom. You know what I mean? Like even when I make beats and stuff like that, I like one thing I love about making beats is number one is like I can make beats anywhere. You know what I mean? Like and anywhere like I go, I can make beats. Not saying like physically I can make it because I have the stuff, but like in like literally even I can tune everybody out. You know what I mean? And just be making beats. You know what I mean? But like the great thing about it is when you got your headphones on and it's just you get to zone out, you get to vibe and do whatever you want to do. So if you want to try a melody that might sound a little crazy in the speakers, then now's your time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
right.
But like when you got people there, that's not the time to be like, oh wait, all right, yo, let me smoke and then let me see if I get that melody idea again. Cause you know that cause that idea, like that idea that pops up when you smoked out, it sounds good when you smoked out for a reason.
Yeah. And everybody's guilty of that for a time or two. Like, man, I know this beat is gonna be fire, and you sitting there, you know, and then you turn around and wake up the next day, and it's like
the next day, right?
Yo, you know,
you want to snatch some headphones off, like, man, what
thank
was
God I ain't post this.
I learned that early from and it wasn't from my own experience. What's her name? Missy has said it on Rap City years ago. Missy was on Rap City, and I think Tigger was interviewing her. She was in the basement. And now I'm showing my age, talking about the basement and shit.
Hey man, Rap City the basement. Shout out to Rap City the basement.
Yo,
what you mean?
When they canceled Rap City, like that shit fucked me up.
It devastated me.
I was like, yo, where I'm supposed to get new music from now? Like, but neither here nor there. But anyway, she was saying they had said something to her like, oh, I bet you be getting mad high in the studio, right? And she was like, actually, no, I don't. She's like, I used to smoke. she's like, you should get high, and then we come back to the studio the next day, like, ew, what the fuck is that? Like, she's like, now we just make music sober, and then like when we play it back, we might do what we do.
Yeah, start
but
chilling.
Like, she's like, you know, because we got to make sure. She's like, you can't make the music like under the influence. Like, it's like if you can't like if you can't drive a car under the influence, you shouldn't like, you know, make your music under the influence. You know what I mean? And some people might look at it differently. You know, like, because I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes, you know, I get my little sip on. You know, I might, you know, do a little, you know, puff a little something here and there when I'm making music. But like, it never fails though. Like, if like the day after, like when I'm listening back, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's no different with writing verses sometimes too. But Sis knows this too, because Sis rap. She knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you be thinking you penning a fire verse, and you know what I'm saying. You go back and you listen to it the next day, or you read what you wrote, and it's like, nah, that ain't it, cuz. That ain't it, man.
We ain't released this.
Yeah, sit your ass down somewhere and chill out, man.
The funny shit be like the day after you done sat and listened to a beat, like a little 4-8 bar loop for like 8 hours. You like, you all spitting in your head like, somebody walking because you in the headphones. They gonna be like, yo, this motherfucker is like losing his mind. What is going on? Like, you know what I mean? And then the next day you listen back, oh, I'm gonna hear that shit. I was listening to that shit was lit. Listen to we like, oh no, this shit is shit.
But I mean, we all go through those processes as creators, man. And that, like I said, we ain't knocking. Whatever you do is what you do. You know what I'm saying? And how you work is how you work. Not everybody's the same. You know, everybody's work ethic is different. But you know, I just find it like for myself, like I always go into it like I'm at the job mentality. You know what I'm saying? I always look at it like, especially if I'm, you know, taking somebody else's time in the studio and stuff like that. Now, you know, if you have a home studio and stuff, you can get away with a little bit more because you could spend all the time you want in your home studio, and a lot of us
even
are fortunate
so, I
enough
think
to be
it's
in those
crucial
positions,
to still treat it, even if you have
treat
a
it
home
like you
setup.
working,
Yeah,
you know?
because then you ain't gonna get no work done. You know what I mean?
Especially at home, because it's so easy to just sit back and not get done.
Yep.
I think where a lot of people fail too is that they don't realize that there's actual steps. You know what I mean? There's actual like so when you making a song, it's not like, oh, I'm making a song. I'm gonna write a 16. It's like, nah, you need to write that. You need to write an A part, a B part, and you know, basically like another A part. You know, like A B A. If you know, like, so you got them first 4. It got a certain cadence. The second 4 is gonna come back with that cadence, and then the third 4. Then you need to have a new thing so you can reintroduce something, and then maybe with that last one, either you're going back to the original, or maybe you're giving us another one that's going to lead us into the hook. You know what I mean? And like, and people like they think like, oh, I could just spit, and don't realize like structure. Yeah, man, because
that structure.
Yo, because remember how many battle rappers like and there's no disrespect to battle rappers, but how many of them cats like in the early 2000s would like get an album and you'd hear them in the studio, you hear them spitting, and they get to 16, and it sound like literally like they just cut you off because like they wasn't like structuring their verses.
That's why that stigma sticks to them to this day, that battle rappers can't make music,
can't make records,
right? And speaking of battle rap, while you bring that up, did y'all check out that Math Hoffa versus Method Man? 1 round only, but it was still dope. Did y'all peep that?
No, I didn't see it.
Did it drop?
I heard
already?
about it.
It dropped this week. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it dropped this week. Nah, I gotta check.
It's on Math's channel.
And I bet, man, I don't know what happened. I don't want to know what happened. No, shout out to Math Hoffa.
Word.
You ever heard of because I don't really follow battle rap like that, but I only know one rapper like personally that I've met. Her name is Jazz the Rapper. You ever heard of her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So I did a couple songs with her. Like that's my man's homegirl. Like she used to work in Foot Locker with my man, everything. And like she's like I did a couple songs with her back in like 2011. Like literally, like if you would have told me she was a battle rapper when she walked in here, I would have never known. Like, and it's like I said, nothing against them, but like you said, there's that stigma. She came in, oh my God, like the verses she spit, and like I told her what the song was about, and she was like, all right, sat back in the couch right there, and it's like, roll her shit, and then next thing I know, she's like just straight spitting, She's nice. Like she's like.
But you know, I think Jazz started with music first and then jumped into battle rap. I don't think she was fucking doing battle rap in 11. Cheese.
Okay.
So that might explain why she killed that shit because.
Yo.
Yeah.
No. Back then, like literally, we was walking down the street. It was like 2011, 2012, or something like that. We was walking down the street, or like my man was telling me like that they was in Foot Locker, and people was coming up to her, and it was like, "Oh my God, you're Jazz, you're Jazz."
So
she's like, yeah. Like she's like, yeah, just buy the shoe. You know what I mean? Like she been popping for a minute. Like it's dope that y'all like, cause I didn't, like I said, I don't know anything about that whole thing over there. Like I know she's the only person that I knew of that I had experience with that like actually like recording and like yo, I'll tell you this, like there's a few rappers that I recorded that like if you was like I hate if people be like, yo, can I come and record today? Like anytime people do some shit like that to me, I'm like, no. But there's a few people in the world that if they be like, yo, can I come record today, that I would be like, all right, come on through. And she's one of them because like she's like when she was her shit was she boom boom and like maybe 3 takes or something like that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like yo, bring me back to this word. It's like, yo, bring me back to the third bar. I want to, you know what I mean? Like she knew what the fuck she was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her and then my man X, like this dude like I did a whole album with him a couple years ago, and he like to the point where like I didn't want to work with nobody else after that because he was coming to the studio with like all his verses prepared. So like he like yeah, I want to record 3 songs today. I'm like, all right. And in my mind, I'm like, everybody they say they want to record 3 songs. But like we getting through the first song in maybe like 30 minutes because like he got his whole shit like practiced, prepared, remembered, and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like Cypha was saying and shit like that. You know, people like that spoil the fuck out of you. You'll be like, I don't want to record nobody else again.
No one, right? Because some people can make it so hard, and just from not having the knowledge.
I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't want to. I just say this like I like I've been recording people like since probably like what 2004, 2003, 2004 like and like sometimes people come in and they be like so gung ho about what they gonna do, but they
can't produce it.
Yeah, they don't know what they don't practice at home. And and like my thing is this: if you book like 2-3 hours of studio time, right, and and that 2 or 3 hours, like you can't get through a whole song. Like if you get 2 or 3 hours, right, and you go through one song, like you should pat yourself on the back, like not for nothing. You know what I mean? Because if it took you 3 hours to do a song, like it's okay. Like at least you got through the whole song. But if you're going through 3 hours and you're not getting through the whole song, then to me, you need to go home. You need to practice to get that beat. Practice. Get you a little setup where you could record somehow, and and get you like a nice little rough demo
to hear your shit back.
Exactly.
That's very important too.
You know. Yeah. Let's get you a little.
Because a lot of people they doing shit and they don't even realize how they sound.
Yeah.
You know what? But like, and not a lot of people now is like they like. It's so funny that I just seen this this Master P. Like a piece of this Master P documentary the other day, and they were saying how, and I remember when the albums was coming out, like I remember they always sounded a little bit different than everything else. You know what I mean? And so basically, P was like I'm pretty sure he was mixing and mastering himself. You know what I mean? And this is back in like the 90s when all this stuff wasn't as accessible. So you getting like these raw ass like. They would should have been like what people was considering demos, you know what I mean, versus the big records. And I think a lot of people are like, there's a lot of like demo quality records that's out now, you know what I mean, because like everybody got everybody got mastering software, you know what I mean, like so like I don't know, like, but
yeah, I started watching a little bit. I started watching a little bit of that yesterday too. Finally, a little bit. Some of that Master P doc, man.
Only saw the first one. That shit is mad inspirational though. Like
I'm in the middle of the first one right now. Right after speaking of, which is funny, after towards ACL and how he started, changing, flipping shit around and how he started. Yeah, that's where I'm at on it right now.
Did you hear how much money he started out with? $10,000.
I gotta check that out.
$10,000.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, and
it's like
granted,
how many
this
parts
is like,
is it? Cheese? Is it like?
I don't know.
Parts?
I seen part 1.
Yeah.
I seen part 1. I haven't been able to find part 2 yet. I didn't look for it. I didn't actively look for it. I found part 1 by accident.
It's on BET's YouTube. Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
But but like I mean $10,000 back then is probably more like $20-25 today or something like that. You know what I mean? But even still, like to go from that to
from out the trunk to where to what it became, No Limit, man. Yeah,
that's what I love about him the most. Like, you started out the trunk, like that shit is incredible.
And and he ain't take no for an answer at all. Like, and like as much as I like some of the No Limit stuff, you know what I mean? I've always looked at it like, yo, it looks a little bit off brand. You know what I mean? Like it look like it doesn't fit into everything else. You know what I mean? Like even his like CD cases.
We know it's mainstream, but it still had that street underground element to it. You know what I mean?
Like you remember the CD cases because they wasn't clear. They was like that hard plastic. And you had to cause I was when I was in college we was getting all the No Limit stuff. Like it would come in, we get all of the promo stuff, but like the CD cases was like this hard plastic, you couldn't see through them. They didn't even fit the same way as the regular CD cases. You know what I mean? They was a little bit wider and shit like that. It had like stickers like for the artwork. It was a sticker on the front, and then inside when you took out the liner notes, it was like this poster that would just advertise like all of like the other 150,000 No Limit albums that was coming out that week.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But like I remember always thinking like, yo, this shit look a little bit off. Like because I remember like the artwork looking like, you know what I mean? Everybody always had it was always like in front of a car. Like, but he had Photoshop before motherfuckers had Photoshop. Yeah,
it was genius. It was purposely
he was ahead of his time. That actually was ahead of his time.
Done that way.
Yeah, but that was no. What was you gonna say?
No,
I was just gonna say. No, I was gonna say. You seen that artwork, you automatically knew it was a No Limit record.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, you knew. Yeah, just like even going back to like Cash Money, like you knew the Hot Boys, like you knew they had that style on their artwork. Yeah, you just knew it. You know what I'm saying?
Like so I like that series because like to me is I look at it like, okay, this is where we at right now. You know what I mean? Like we at that point right now where people are seeing us as like, okay, they up and coming or whatever. And like that motherfucker, this motherfucker was putting out demos, right? Up against like big mainstream mixed albums and shit like that. You know what I mean? And they wasn't doing nothing. Like the motherfucker in the documentary said, "Oh no, we ain't listening to that shit. We said these motherfuckers was that whack ass shit." Look at Master P now. You got Rap Snacks. I'm not really big on his clothing line, like the Money Yachty clothing. Yeah. I think it's a little extra for me.
But there's people that are into it.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he has the platform to do it. You know what I mean? Like it ain't for me, but like at the same time, it's like people wear whatever the fuck they want nowadays. You know what I mean? So like if you want to go and you want to wear that, you can wear it. And like if you want to go get like Rap Snacks, you can get those if you want to get. But he got ramen noodles now too. Everything like, you know what I mean? Like
oodles and noodles.
Yeah.
He did
that's
all
right. If you say ramen, you the feds, right? Well, I'm the feds. I ain't never said oodles and noodles in my life. So like, I just like that shit was mad inspiration to me. That's
I'm gonna check that shit out.
And also too, man, we also still students to the game too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we also humble and still students to the game too. So, hey man, and I think that's the mentality that everybody should have.
Yeah, we always gonna be you always gotta be a student. Like if you think you know everything, I feel bad
you don't know
for you.
shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Then you're gonna miss out on opportunities with people that could, you know what I'm saying?
Learn
that
you
could
something.
potentially build with and everything, man. So Yeah, just staying humble and just realize that you're always gonna be a student to this, man.
Yeah.
I spend 40 hours a week with 10-year-olds, and them little motherfuckers like show me something all the time. All the time they put me on to something. You know what I mean? Like, and I love it. I love it. Cause they be like, you ain't know that? I'm like, nah. Sometimes I know the shit, but I just let them. I just let them get the joy of being like, yo, I show Mr. A something. Like, yeah, you ain't show me shit, motherfucker. But nah,
that's what's up.
But still, even still, like you said, like you always gotta be able to learn something, cause you can't.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That shit.
Be
that
open
shit
to
no
it.
good.
You gotta be open to it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Real talk, man.
Hell yeah. That's a fact. That's the absolute.